It was a small, unassuming town, the kind where everyone knew everyone, and the most exciting thing to happen was the annual bake-off. But for as long as anyone could remember, there was one unspoken rule. Never, under any circumstances, go near the old mill on the outskirts of town after sundown. The mill had been abandoned for generations, its weathered timbers and broken windows giving it a skeletal appearance against the backdrop of the hills. Children dared each other to go closer, but no one ever crossed the threshold. The story said it was haunted by the miller himself, a man who had lost his family in a terrible flood, and whose grief had twisted him into something monstrous. Others said it was something older, something that had been there before the mill waiting. One sweltering summer night, a group of teenagers decided to break the rule. Armed with flashlights and a healthy dose of bravado, they ventured towards the mill, their laughter echoing a little too loudly in the oppressive silence. They pushed open the groaning door, the sound of their own heartbeat suddenly deafening. The air inside was thick and cold, smelling of decay and old earth. Dust motes danced in the beams of their flashlights as they explored the derelict interior. That's when they saw it. Scrawled on a wooden beam almost hidden by cobwebs and grime was a single word: run. A sense of unease settled over the group. The bravado melted away, replaced by a cold dread. They turned to leave, but the door they had entered through was now gone. In its place was an endless dark hallway. A faint rhythmic sound began to pulse from the darkness ahead. Thump, 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 thump. The sound of a monstrous heartbeat. They ran, their flashlights bouncing wildly as they fled down the impossible hallway. The thumping grew louder, closer. They could feel a cold presence breathing down their necks. Suddenly, a small, pale hand reached out from the wall, its fingers unnaturally long and thin. Then another and another. Soon dozens of hands were clawing their way out of the walls, reaching for them with an impossible hunger. The thumping stopped, and then they heard the voice. A dry, rasping whisper that seemed to come from all around them at once. "You shouldn't have come here," it hissed. "You shouldn't have." The voice trailed off into a guttural, wet sound, like something trying to swallow itself. The last thing they saw was a single monstrous eye, glowing with a malevolent green light in the suffocating darkness, before the walls themselves seemed to close in around them, and their screams were swallowed by the silence. The mill remained, a silent sentinel in the night waiting for the next brave soul to break the rule. And every now and then on a quiet night, if you listen closely, you can still hear a faint rhythmic thump, 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 thump coming from the old mill.